beloved, I greet you in the name of the parent, of the rebel, and of the Spirit. Amen. My name is the Reverend Lenny Duncan, and I am a church planter launching a new community in the Pacific Northwest, specifically Vancouver, Washington. We are trying to deconstruct church down to its essentials, and one of the essentials of church we believe is justice. That we as the people of God are called to gather around the vision of God's banquet, a heavenly table built on equity and radical realignment of our values as a country and as a world and as human beings and as one human family. I believe it's our personal responsibility to drag that vision of the kingdom of God into the public square. The grace, love, liberation, and the radical consequences of the cross and the saving acts of the Easter dawn, they call us, I would say, dear one, they leave us with no other choice but to use every bit of ourselves and our lives to the cause of heaven here on earth for all. To spill out everything for the sake of this kingdom's cause, and I say kingdom, a K-I-N-dom, because there is only one king in this vision, and Jesus has decided to take the role of a servant. I don't know where this video finds you, nor do I know what the days ahead will have, but I know that if you are anything like me, you are probably watching the design systemic inequities, the broken, fractured pieces of your own life, your own family, all seemingly conspire against you right now. And you probably have just a bit of anger. I know that I do. I don't just have anger, I have a holy anger that has been brewing since the first day I learned the name Trayvon Martin. I have a raging fire inside that's been burning since the first time I went without a meal as a kid. I have an anger that's been building since the first time I saw one of my queer siblings denied full access to the church and the table or access to leading in this church. I have an anger that screams when it sees the lines at the local food bank down the street from here stretching for miles. I have an anger that thinks of people who are in dangerous domestic abuse situations in order to shelter in place with their abuser right now. It's a slow simmer, this anger I have. It is a divine fire that is always burning in my heart. It is a response to the heartache that I have for the world and all the shattered pieces of it that I try to arrange to make into something I call my life. And this slow, simmering, burning holy anger is awake and active during this pandemic. And it is blessed by God. So today, loved one, I'm going to tell you to abide in anger. I'm going to tell you as a called and ordained minister in the Church of Jesus Christ that your anger is holy, that I bless it, and that it is Christ-like in this time of crisis. As the days and weeks unfold ahead of us, the continued intentional, compassionate social distancing wears on us. As our predatory healthcare system does what it's designed to do, and we know that's to leave black, brown, and poor bodies in its wake. As our leaders continue to fight over the last scraps of shrinking power. As we try to fit capitalism through the eye of a needle over the next couple weeks. Know that your anger over all this comes from God's own self. That it is God-given and right. And I tell you that on this day you can abide in your anger. In Mark chapter 3, verses 1 through 5, we hear a story of Jesus where he's in the synagogue. And as he enters the synagogue, a man was there who had a withered hand. They watched him, meaning the people watched him to see whether he would cure him on the Sabbath so they might accuse him. And he said to the man who had the withered hand, "Come forth." Then he said to them, meaning the people, asking the people of the time, "Is it lawful to do good or to do harm on the Sabbath? To save life or to kill?" But they were silent. He looked around at them with anger, and he was grieved at their hardness of heart. And he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." He stretched it out and his hand was restored. If you are grieved at the hardness of this world's heart right now, if you are abiding in that anger just like Jesus did in this text, if you abide in the anger at this system and its leaders, then I tell you to abide in this in the same way that Jesus does. He questions the system and then goes about the healing work, the restorative work that this world needs. Abide in your anger because there is a lot of restorative work. There is a lot of healing work. There is a lot of questioning of the very systems that make up our world right now in the days and the weeks ahead of us. Know that we worship a God who is just as angry about the injustice in the world as you are. That we worship a God who sits with you in the anger and the brokenness about how your life is right now. That we worship a God who is so angry at your heartbreak and fear that this same God has a rage cry with you every night. So I invite you to abide in holy anger.